Yes, because the next questions, please, you can grab those two after the conference, because we have a very important date now with Texas. Yes, so we learned about the rise of the OEMs or the rise of OEM wallets from John a lot, and got an insight into Google Wallet. But what about Apple Wallet? So let's ask this question to Darien Long. Darien, are you there?
I am. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Darien. Must be about 9 a.m. your time?
8 a.m.
Okay, great. So you had your coffee and you're fine talking to us.
Very excited to talk to you all.
We appreciate it very much that you are with us today, and we are very keen on learning everything about Apple Wallet. So, Darien, the stage is yours. We can see you, we can hear you, everything is fine. And now, listen, this is your applause.
Thank you, everyone. Like she said, my name is Darien Long. I'm the Vice President of Sales with dormakaba Hospitality Division. So today I'm going to be sharing about our partnership with LEGIC and Apple Wallet, and how we intend to, with Apple, innovate the flow of access through Apple Wallet in the hospitality space. So let's get started. So you might, we just had a really great presentation from Google. I'm glad I got to catch part of it. You're probably asking yourself, what role does Apple Wallet play in this? Are they a big player, a small player, and are they important to the conversation? And in the hospitality space, many would say, yes, they're very important. But why? Google has the majority of market share globally. So why is Apple important? Well, that's because when we look at the actual segments that make up kind of the phone space, the premium segment by far is owned by Apple. So when we look at wholesale prices of $400 or more, Apple has global market share of about 57%. And when we look at the ultra premium slice of that, of $1,000 or more, Apple owns 78% of this market. So how does this translate to the hospitality space? Well, hotels are always looking for ways to serve their most profitable customers. And when they look specifically at their loyalty members, oftentimes they're finding that the majority of their loyalty members are iPhone users. So Hyatt is a prime example of that. And here's a statistic from them that although 85% of the total Hyatt customers were Android users, more than 80% of the Hyatt Passport loyalty members were iPhone users. So this is why Apple has become a priority for them in servicing their loyalty members within their portfolio. So next slide, great. So how does it work? So today, the mobile experience is quite clunky. Without Apple Wallet or partners like Google, you have to go into the mobile app of that hotel, do your mobile check-in, and then you're issued your mobile key. And every time you want to access your room or any type of perimeter device, you have to go back to that app to access that mobile key. Well, what Apple Wallet allows you to do is it allows you to save that to your wallet. So this reduces the barrier of entry for many of the hotel guests. Instead of having to pull out their device to go back to that app, they simply just hold their phone locked up to the reader, and it will grant them access. This is great too because it's shared between devices. So when we look at people who have iWatches, if you're anything like me traveling with your family, I have 2 small children. When I travel with them, I often have one on my hip. I'm carrying another, either on the other side, or I have bags that I have to carry, and setting all of that down to pull out my phone, to access the app, to then access my mobile key is quite a cumbersome process. With the Apple Watch, I simply just hold my watch up to the reader and the device unlocks. I don't have to set anything down, which is a huge improvement in efficiency for users. The other great thing is that this is used through NFC technology. So unlike BLE, with NFC, you can actually open the device up to 4 hours after your phone dies. So if you've been traveling after a long day and you're out of juice, it's not a huge concern. You can still access all of your, let's say, perimeter access. Maybe I need to get into the parking garage as I come into the hotel. I need to get into the lobby. It's after hours. And then I can go straight to my room. Even though my device is dead, I'll have no problem accessing all of those things. Next slide. So this is just a quick video of it kind of in the works. So you can see the device was closed, locked. You simply hold it up to the key or to the reader, and you'll see that door unlock. So we're really excited to be deploying this feature pretty quickly. Right. Next slide. So let's talk about our role in dormakaba and with LEGIC. So LEGIC is the artery that makes all of this possible for us and our hotels at dormakaba. So there's two different roles that we can play together. The first one is credential manager. This is really an Apple term, and the credential manager is the party who creates the wallet pass to access credentials to be added. The pass is created through an interaction between Apple Pay Cloud with the app, and we're going to be using LEGIC's SDK for this. So they are kind of the crown jewel in helping this be possible. The credential manager space will primarily work with independent hotels here. And the reason is you can't have more than one credential manager today. So when we look at hotel groups that have multiple lock vendors within their portfolio, they can only have one credential manager. So in this case, if we have exclusivity, we're pretty excited to be the credential manager. In the other cases where we don't have exclusivity, we'll be what's called the credential provider, which is on the next slide. So in this example, the credential provider, the hotel like Lowe's or maybe someone like Hyatt, they have multiple lock vendors across their entire portfolio, but they have one centralized app. And in this case, they will be their own third-party manager to be their own credential manager, and we will simply be a credential provider. So this is all once again possible with LEGIC. They're at kind of the center of our ability to do this on both the software side and the hardware side for us. Okay, next slide. So actually 2 clicks here. Sorry, Swin. So these are some of the lock offerings that we have at dormakaba that will be Apple Wallet ready. These are both NFC and have BLE technology as well. So these are our modular locks. These locks are most common in new construction because they have a really small footprint on the door. It's very difficult to put these in what we would call a retrofit hotel. So this is an existing hotel that might be replacing locks. And that's because oftentimes they have a larger lock on the door. And when we take that large lock off, there's holes in the door. So when we have to put a small modular lock on there, we're having to put a plate behind that lock. And it's not always the most aesthetically beautiful showcase that we want on the door. So these modular locks, small footprint, often going to be seen in new construction, and like I said, Apple Wallet compatible because they both have BLE and NFC technology in them. The next options are our full body locks. So once again, these are going to take up a little bit larger footprint on the door. So these are great for all types of properties, both retrofit and new construction because of the footprint here. These also are BLE and NFC compatible. So whatever your preference is in kind of your mobile path, you'll have many options available with this lock. So I wanted to talk about the journey to the wallet. And we've been kind of working on kind of mobile key for a long time now. And it has been a pretty slow adoption rate. So when we look at BLE, which is the primary vehicle that hotels are using today to issue mobile credentials, there's kind of 2 ways that we can look at adoption. The first way is through hotel adoption. Does the hotel have the technology on the door to be able to issue a mobile key? The second one is actual guest user adoption. So does the hotel guest want and need to use this? So let's look at the first one. Does the hotel have the technology? When we look at BLE, like I said, which is the most common today, this is widely in most hotels. All of the brands have major brand mandates around having BLE technology and pretty much have mobile key strategies in place that mandate hotels provide this type of technology to their guests. So this is widely accepted. And, you know, I would say in terms of the hotel use case, we're in the late majority here. When we look at the hotel guest experience, user experience, we're somewhere between, we're probably right at the chasm, to be honest. We hear from different hotels, chains, that somewhere between 10 to 20% of their hotel users are using mobile key through BLE. Okay. So what is kind of keeping that from growing? And, oh, sorry, go back. What's keeping that from growing is kind of the accessibility of it, right? Like I said, it's not a super straightforward experience. You're always having to go back to the mobile key, and there's lots of barriers between you and access to that door. So this is where Apple Wallet can play an important role here. Right now, we're very much in kind of the innovators, early adapter stage, and it is going to be a little time before we're able to cross this chasm and have this be in the mainstream usage for hotels. So when we look at the first use case of the technology being in the hotel doors, this one is a lot more achievable in the short term. We're already having major conversations with hotels to ensure that they're future-proofing their hotel locks. Today, they are looking at things on a much more modular basis, where before they would buy a door lock and it would sit on that door for 10 years, and that was the life cycle. As we advance in the lock space, the access control space, the door lock has really become a part of the tech stack of a hotel. And through that, they're needing to make investments in that technology much more frequently, making it much more of a modular purchase. So we're seeing them, instead of replacing the hardware every 10 years, they're replacing small components, every 3 to 5 years based on how their roadmap for their tech stack changes. And because of this shortened sales cycle, we're able to kind of bring that technology in much quicker than user adoption rates may flow. So when we look at the user adoption rate for something like Apple Wallet from the hotel guest experience, this is going to be a little bit of a slower road. And it will really, I think, this is my personal opinion, be determined by how quickly other brands jump in to these partnerships. We need more major brands like Hyatt to take big stakes here and have participation. It's a beautiful guest experience that I think they'll come around to, but we're not quite there yet. Also, when we have these partnerships with big brands, it takes a little while to turn a big ship. They have thousands and thousands of franchisees who they have to put plans in place for and get adoption moving forward. So this is not a short-term path, but I think it will be the most widely accepted. And once we kind of get all the partnerships in place, it will kind of spread like wildfire. So next slide. So what's to come with Apple Wallet? Some exciting things. So right now, it is the use case that I shared with you. You have to have the app to be able to access and save to your wallet, but that's changing. So with web provisioning, this will change the way that you can save to your wallet. So instead of having an app, which is sometimes a heavy lift for hotels, especially if you're in the independent space, you'll be able to maybe issue mobile keys through things like text messages or an email that clicks to a link that is still secure, providing the most secure access, but without the heavy load of an app. The next one is key sharing. Oftentimes you're traveling with family members and friends and someone gets there early and checks in. You'll be able to, in the future, share your key across Apple IDs. The third one is multi-reservations. So when you look at those loyalty guest members, oftentimes they might have multiple reservations in their Hilton Honors or their Hyatt Passport. So not only can they save their rewards cards to the Apple Wallet today, but they'll be able to access multiple reservations in that wallet as well. And then the fourth thing that's to come is kiosk provisioning. So for our smaller hotels or maybe group hotels who have high demand check-in, having a kiosk in the lobby oftentimes makes sense. It reduces the workload on your front desk and reduces the lines to be able to check into when you have overflow. So being able to issue a key from a kiosk to save to your Apple Wallet is to come, and I think will be really great for large convention hotels as well. So that is a little bit about Apple Wallet and our partnership with both them and LEGIC. And I think the next slide is the end, but I'm also happy to take any questions as well.